Now, when President Weah won the presidency in 2017, he went to see the former vice president at that time, drove to his house, or other invited him. But I know they met. President Weah went to him, and a lot of us thought that was a good thing to do. I'm one president who have always said it is good for this President Boakai to invite the two former presidents, have a conversation with them, talk about the issues of governance. When politics come, we talk politics. Do you know whether President Boakai has ever extended any invitation to former President Weah for a dinner, a breakfast, a meeting, or whatever?
Even though E. Pepper Soup said I want it happen, but since uh, while the elections results were being announced, President Weah took a bold step and placed a telephone call. And I vividly remember those who were in the room. Former Vice President Joy Howard Taylor, she was the one who actually gave, because President Barker had a number that President Weah had, but it wasn't working that day. And the former Vice President gave him another number that went through, and he spoke. It wasn't at the beginning. It wasn't a long conversation. He said, uh, "Ambassador Barker, I'm calling you to concede and to congratulate you, even though the final results have not been announced, but mathematically, based on what I'm seeing, there's no need to prolong my decision. There's no need to also heighten the political tensions that usually come about in Liberian elections, but I'm calling you to concede and to congratulate you." And President Barker said, "Oh, thank you for calling. It's a pleasure." The usual pleasantries. Since that day, the former president of the Republic of Liberia, S.E. George Manneh Weah, and the current president have not spoken.
Really?
Yeah, because if I call you now, he called President Barker. There has been no return call yet. But it's not an issue.
Yeah,
For
it's
us.
not an issue, but we got to put it on.
The issue maybe for you,
I'm
but it's not
asking,
an issue
I'm
because
asking because
I'm
the
saying
UP
it
folks.
publicly since President Weah, former President Weah, because now a president always a president. That's the title, but some of the UP people they get antsy when you say President Weah. Former President Weah called President Barkai to concede, and they spoke for like about a minute, 30 seconds after the congratulations, the pleasantries. Since that day, they have not spoken.
Okay.
Who should do the return call? It's not the men who call you first. When somebody call you call them back. There has been no return call, but for us, it's not an issue. President Weah is focused.
I'm asking because the UP folks will say President Boakai has extended the two invitations to President Weah. He's turned them down.
When?
He's been calling him. He's not picking up his call.
It's totally untrue.
Okay.
There has been no call from President Barker to President Weah. But I don't want to make it this issue like we're waiting for calls. The last conversation at the highest level, when there was an occasion
Okay.
where the former president was returning to Liberia after an international visit. And then while we were boarding the plane, the protocol told us that there was an issue because every time you board a plane, whether it's a private jet or a commercial plane, there is a litany of checks that the pilot has to do. Where you will land, where you will park, when the air traffic controllers will tell you to land, and all of that. So the pilot came to me. I was on the plane with him when we boarded. He said, "Mr. Namwe, we have not checked everything yet because Monrovia has not told us our final parking position." I said, "But what is required?" He said, "You have to call Monrovia for them to do that. So just for us to know where we park the plane when we land." So I called the Minister of State, Sylvester Grisby, and I have the call logs, because today if anybody deny the truth, we have to push further. I called him. He didn't pick up. So the pilot said it's not. It's an issue that we have to submit, but we can go maybe while airborne. On the plane there is internet. Minister Grisby called me back, and I said, I always call him veteran. He's a former colleague of mine. We were in the government together. He was minister as well. I said, but we always call him veteran. I said, veteran, we're on the flight and we need, clearance for the former president's plane to land. He said, oh, don't worry about it. You have to land to the usual spot at the VIP. I said, but communicate with the proper authorities. He said, okay. So we started going. Like about 20 minutes to land, they called the pilot and said, there's no final parking position. While we were in the air. And for me, I always repeat this because it was a threat, not just to, it wasn't a political matter. It was a threat to the lives, all of those of us who were on board. And then he said, oh, I will call you back. He didn't call back. But while I was talking to him, I heard the president in the background.
President Boakai?
Yes. And then he didn't call me back. And then they called the protocol on the ground and say, oh, let them, we'll tell them where to park to the plane. And the pilot said, look, from an aviation perspective, I have to know where I'm going to land. Otherwise, we have to find our options. So I said, what are the options? He said, maybe we could go land in Sierra Leone. The former president was on the plane. Already in 20 minutes to landing time, we had to cycle because there's no permission. But so he called the president of Sierra Leone to say, we have an emergency. Can we? He said, oh, no, he talked to his people. We had up the authority to land in Sierra Leone because Liberia did not give us authorization. I'm not saying I talked to somebody at LCAA, somebody at low level. I spoke to the Minister of State while we were in the air.
Did you hear President Boakai talking about the subject matter
They
in the back?
They want that you say I say, but I'm telling you, you either believe me.
No, what I'm saying, you said you heard the former president talking
while
about
I was talking to the Minister of State.
Okay.
I heard him. He was saying, what is it, Grace?
Okay.
I heard it.
So you landed in
So
Sierra Leone.
I felt as oh no, but once the president is aware, and then they call the protocol and say, what they were trying to do was that he shouldn't use the
VIP?
the lounge. But they should have just said, they say, you park the plane way in the corner, but you can't be in the air, and then, because it's an aviation infraction that was
So
committed.
instead you landed in Sierra Leone?
No.
Okay.
Before we could go to Sierra Leone, then the pilot said, what? I have permission to land, but not permission to park. So I told him, I said, land the plane. When they say we can park, we can stay in the middle of the runway. We put the former president out. Because for me, it was a safety issue. And I told him, I said, no, don't go to Sierra Leone because it will mean another 40 minutes. I don't know how much fuel he had in the plane, all of that.
What will happen?
So we landed because he had permission to land. And then they say, oh, you can park where the VIP, I said, it doesn't matter. So we got down, we went through the regular terminal. Why is it an issue? It shows the amount of ad hominem attacks that the former president has been receiving. It's not accidental. It's deliberate. But it's not a big deal.
Did you do any follow-up call to Grisby to say, but what went wrong, man? How could you treat us in a kind of manner?
Well,
We
I'm
didn't
saying
hear
it
back from
publicly.
you.
I ain't gotta. So the next time the former president, I was coming as his chief of staff, I made sure that we fixed the problem. I don't have to call the Minister of State for us to land. The former president has a right to leave Liberia and to come back into Liberia. So I said, can you go through the normal procedure? They said, oh, then he will pass through the normal terminal, go through immigrant. I said, no problem. And that's what he has been doing. And since that
Like
time...
any ordinary person.
Yeah, but I say he's common citizen, so he passed commonly. He passes commonly through...
Who say come on say who you are?
Oh.
The former president is the former president.
When the other man said it, you didn't say nothing. I listened to you. So I include you into it. When the vice president said it, you don't say, oh, vice president, why you call the man come and say, you question him. You acquiesce You know, we call what we call acquiescence. If they were quote us,
For the purpose
we're
of the-
going to hold you as an accomplice.
Okay, for the
But no
purpose-
problem.
for the
Be a
purpose-
common citizen, not a bad thing.
For the purpose of the discussion,
Yeah.
I would not force you. We'll
Yeah.
have a very
Yeah,
good.
but I won't force
so we
you.
can steal plenty
My
things
friend.
away from the public. We are always
we
being
got
friends.
things.
Now, so you signing the former president, we are feels disrespected by this government.
But that feeling, I'm giving you evidence of the disrespect. Listen, the day we left Accra to come to Liberia, he used the Jubilee Lounge. The Jubilee Lounge is the lounge, the presidential lounge in Accra.
In Ghana.
Even though he's a former president. So for they say prophet is not respected in his home. Our only issue was that tell us from the beginning, because we wrote the Ministry of State and we wrote the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, our copies, to say that the former president will be arriving at this time. They reply us and say you have the right to the permission to land. We have to give the aircraft number, everything. It's not accidental. It was deliberate. So tell us at the point that you don't come to Liberia because we're not allow you to land. Don't make the plane to be in the air and then you say, oh, you will land away. It was an aviation infraction that the pilot say, what are our options? We are going back to Abidjan, going back to Accra, or landed in Sierra Leone. Got permission to land in Sierra Leone. And then I said, can you safely land in Liberia? He said, yes. I said, because we 20 minutes away. And he landed. And actually, when we landed, see what was going on, like a whole drama. But in the end, we're on the ground. For me, I want us to be on the ground while they handling the issues.
Okay, now.
So that was it. But for me, I really don't want us to dwell on this.
Recently,
because it's past.
the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, issued a statement on the impasse at the House of Representatives. At some point in that statement, they are concerned, calling on both former President George Weah and current President Joseph Boakai to work together for peace, stability, and tranquility in the country. Is Mr. Weah concerned?
But let's deal with the statement first. The statement says they should work together for peace, for tranquility, for the country to be all right. Meaning it's not all right. So they're asking for it to be all right. So the onus is upon the incumbent president and his team to ensure that the country runs well. It's not our job. When former President Weah was president, upon his announcement, the announcement of his win, what did he do? The first place he went was to the home of President Boakai, interacted with him, donated 2 vehicles to him. Now that the vehicles, when I hope you give me a chance to talk about it.
We'll come there.
When next year,
Just now.
yet going to different places.
No, Eugene will come there. Don't
And
worry.
he went to him.
He said, "What next year?"
I just want to know when so I can get ready. So he went to him and interacted with him. So I explained to you earlier, I don't want to repeat, what has happened. So the onus is upon him. Former President Weah doesn't need any favor from President Boakai. The only favor we need is for him to govern the country properly, which he is not doing. And it's the onus is upon him. You made promises, you supported lies from your party operatives, and now you have been running the country for Joao Sano. He always put point. He said like for 1.3 years. So it's on you. But every time there's a governance failure, they say, "Oh, and President Weah." The government spends $1.2 million to buy a car for the president. That Lexus, at the least price of a bulletproof Lexus. As people saying 400,000, that one, anybody can buy it. The 1.2 million that you spend to buy the car, if you bought it for your security, say it. Don't say, "Oh, former President Weah, and the car he left with me, I like it, and he got one too." Former President Weah does not have the same car that was bought. The EPS director was so irresponsible to issue that statement that the former president took a car away. And I want us to talk about it.
Did he take a car away?
He took a car that is privately owned by him. All the government cars. In August of 2023 and September, the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Finance, procured 15 Land Cruisers for the EPS. When the former president was leaving office, we turned the entire 15 vehicles for the convoy, for the presidential convoy, over to Semgay. And we have receipts of that. 15 vehicles for the convoy. In addition, 2 bulletproof vehicles that were bought in 2022, that were secured in 2022, plus the 3 bulletproof vehicle that President Salif turned over to President Weah. All 3 of them in pristine condition was turned over to the EPS director, and he acknowledged that in writing. 15, I say 1 or 2, 15 in August. So about less than 6 months, we turn it over to you. So if you want to procure luxury for the president, say, oh, we need to do it. Don't say he took a car away, a car that was bought.
So the one the former president took away is his private.
What you call it took away? The one that was with him. To say took away, that mean you agreeing with the EPS director and Clarence. This is what I always say to the press.
1 minute, you
The
let's get something clear. You were saying the one the former president went with is his personal
But he
car.
went with it for him already. He ain't got to.
But it was part of his presidential motorcade, right?
No, he used to ride every now and then.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, we gave 15. Apart from the old cars, I don't want to count the old vehicles.
I'm following that conversation. I just wanted to get our portion set.
15 procured in August and September of 2023.
Okay.
I want you. The time is important, so you know how the car was.
August and September.
Yes.
2023.
Yes. The last ones were brought in. Were procured in August. They brought some in August, some in September. And I think 2 of the pieces were brought in early October. But we procure it at October, November, December, January. Let me add October there. 4 months.
Brand new 4 months.
Brand new Land Cruisers were turned over to Semgay. The same EPS director that is behaving so irresponsibly.
How much you say for one of the cars? The written car Boaka bought.
The least price for a bulletproof car of that kind, 2025, is 1.2 million.
For one of it?
Yes.
Okay. Listen to this and tell me whether you have a counter to this. This is a fact check on the car. Just listen.
Good day and welcome to the fact check segment. The segment debunks disinformation and it provides the verified facts of statements made online and on the Today will be fact checking claims made in the last couple of days. Over the past few days, the government of Liberia has been under sharp criticism over the purchase of a 2025 Lexus vehicle for President Joseph Boakai, with many claiming different prices for the vehicle over 100,000. Some claimed that the vehicle cost over US 400,000, 120,000, 150,000, 106,000, while others put the price at US 115,800. To verify these claims, we first conducted a reverse image search to establish the vehicle's model. Our search found that the president's 2 new vehicles are a 2025 Lexus Hybrid. Secondly, we reviewed the Lexus Card Company's website and found that the 2025 Lexus Hybrid vehicle cost US 115,350. Lexus is the luxury vehicle division of the Japanese automaker.
See the kind of problem.
Do you disagree?
The fact checkers need to check themselves.
Okay.
Let me say why they made a mistake. I think it was a mistake that they made without any malice.
Okay.
What they were looking at is a normal Lexus vehicle. What the president has is armor plated.
Okay.
It means when you shoot a car, the bullet will not pass through it. That different car. So when you do fact check, they should ask the EPS or done a freedom of information request Because when the fact checkers, I respect them a whole lot. They're trying to do their best. But if they check the wrong facts, they should check what it will cost to buy a bulletproof vehicle of that kind. What they checked was the basic. Like if you walk into the store,
normal.
Yeah, on a very basic one. The Lexus 20 is one basic. If you add the add-ons, but this is not a basic. This one is armor plated. For me, I'm not worried about if the president, in spite of people suffering, no food in homes, people can pay their children's school fee if he wants a $1.2 million car. Let the EPS director say, for security reasons, because maybe somebody wants to shoot him and he wants to protect himself. But don't say because the former president got the same car. First, it's not the same car. And you know what is more concerning is that the head of the premier state security agency lacks the rudimentary capacity to even check when every car has what we call, has an identifier number, the VIN, vehicle identification number. If you want to know where a car was produced, I don't want to talk about where it was brought, where they made a car. You can find it. Who brought it in? Who bought it from the dealer or the factory? Who received it from the port or the land port, the seaport or the land port? Everything is the car was registered. All the documents were submitted to the government by President Weah. The registration was renewed. So if the EPS director lacks the capacity of even doing such a rudimentary thing to know which car is where, then the president's life is in danger. He's incapable. He's not really, because if you can't even determine whether a car is a government car or not, can you protect the president? He has behaved so unprofessionally over the years. This is not the first time. We turn over all the cars you signed for it. If you felt that President Weah had a vehicle that did not belong to him that he was taking away, what was the next course of action? If you felt you didn't want to talk to him, maybe because he's a common citizen, you can talk to the other people to say, how the car, talk to the Minister of Transport. Who car here? How they bought it?
I think in a statement they said they asked the former president for the car, he refused.
Well, you go ask somebody for a car, he did not. He said through a third party, say, the car look like government car. EPS director, how did he ask when you communicating? Did he show you any official letter? But why ask the former president when you are in charge of state security? Why you can go check and say this is a government car and we need it? He was following EPS director. He just here thing. Let me tell you one other thing he did. Mm-hmm. There's a Chinese built vehicle that the former assistant director of EPS, Siwa Briggs, is using. Do you know Akawa's going out how to go? They just came and grabbed Siwa and came into the police station and said, the car look like a government car. We showed them the document. Okay, but we thought I was a government car. Really?
And it was Briggs' car?
Not any of the EPS vehicles.
Okay.
But he was detained for that. Some of the things the former president, he said.
And how did it end?
They had to let him go because the as usual the EPS director showed his,
let the car go too.
His lack of capacity. He's still riding the car. Oh. The lack of capacity and his unprofessional behavior.
Is the former president still concerned about the impasse at the House of Representatives?
He's concerned about the lack of adherence to rule of law by the government. Because the Supreme Court ruled and said that the actions of the so-called majority black, led by Representative Kuhn, was ultra-virus. I mean, it was without the backing of the law. I'm not a lawyer, but you can look at something and read it. We are subject to the law, so we have to understand a portion of the law. I'm not a lawyer, and for me, I hate for non-lawyers to delve into legal issues because they mean all the time the people went to school to learn, it was for nothing. But I always advise my friend Senator Taylor. I said, stop acting a lawyer. You won't be a lawyer, go to law school. So I will not do what I advise my friend not to do. But the Supreme Court wrote English and said it's ultra virus. They still started proceeding in spite of the report of the ruling of the Supreme Court. The executive branch, led by President Barker, connived with the renegade lawmakers and started giving them authority. They went to the Speaker office, kicked things out. The former president backed it. They burned the Capitol building. The group, the same people.
Who burned it?
The same people that are trying to move Kofa, they burned the Capitol building because the police failed to. The day the place was burned, 11 o'clock, Koga made a call from the Capitol. He was the only lawmaker in the place. Nobody asked him question, but they go, Abu who were way to Babiata drinking Bayoko, that he the call. The men who were in the building, they left him. They call Funatika. They call nobody. The police has become so politicized in their investigations. Koga made a call which is provable. Take his, he called from his telephone. You can prove it. It's not hidden.
What did he say?
He was calling somebody, but he said he was in the Capitol building and people saw him there. He never denied. The chairs that the speaker can use were removed before the place got burned. Who removed it? But the police, because the president said that it was arson already, they had to find a way to, because the president controls the Ministry of Justice, the men who can interpret for the Supreme Court, and they can control also the police. So
when the Supreme Court came down with the ruling using the word ultra virus, both parties were celebrating a win. Even lawyers could not interpret who won the case.
But is it the job of lawyers to interpret what the Supreme Court say? It's the duty of the lawyers to follow it. The Minister of Justice, who's the Attorney General, he was the one who gave the first misinterpretation. It wasn't his duty. I'm just people think,
was he interpreting or he was providing an opinion to the Supreme Court?
Opinion to the Supreme Court opinion. Is that what should happen?
Is that not a function?
No.
How?
No. And people think that things will happen forever. Let me give you one example. Today, Samuel Toure goes to court every time he's called. He flew from Abidjan where he was. When they said they lie. And when the people, when the government lies, claims, that's when I get disappointed. You can't even call them and say, oh, you're lying. You just leave it. They said Interpol had an arrest warrant for Samuel Toure. They give you copy of that arrest warrant. Arrest warrant that are ghost people. It's something tangible. They didn't do it. All the people started carrying it. Samuel Toure went there. This is that. I spoke to Toure. I said, what going on? He said, but since they say, I need to wait. I'm done with. Once the court calls me, I will come. He paid, bought his own ticket, got on the plane. When he landed, he went directly to the court in the morning. The same morning he landed, he went to the court and submitted himself. And they sacked Zago. Who can sack the Commissioner of Immigration?
They sacked Zago because of Toure?
But let me say what Zago said. You're not following things. Zago said that they felt he didn't enforce. It means they say they wanted him to grab to a handcuff him, put him in a pickup truck, drag him, torture him like they did with Lawson and other people before they would be satisfied. And someone said, oh, the president didn't know about it, but who can sack Commissioner of Immigration? Who can sack that market woman? It's the president. So it means he agreed with that belief that Toure should be hung off on the Sunday. What they were going to hang on him for, sir? They said, wait, I want you to give me 30 seconds.
Eugene, sir.
No, you got your job to ask questions.
Eugene, 1 minute. 1 minute. My job is to ask questions, responsibility to answer.
You the moderator, this that myself, I went to journalism school now. But in journalism, you give somebody 30 seconds. That one too, like, Toure is in court, plus the others, for national security reason, which the court acknowledged. It's still in court. I don't want to talk about too much details, but they say they around 6 million, almost around about $6 million were utilized for national security purposes and him account, which he's not afraid to do. The code is open. But between January, when President Baga took over, to now, the national security expenditure has almost doubled what they put into in jail for. You know that? But generally, you ask them, the 6 million they say to spend. Ask how much he spent that he spent in that period, which was shorter. How much has NSA spent using the same procedure, the same processes? National security meeting, or the people who have an election, Burkina Faso to the border. President called to it. Oh, he got to bring money. National security. But they say, we're talking in code. I told it yesterday. I said that me, I will explain everything, saying no national security will be in Liberia again. Who told $1? What Burkina Faso to the border? I will explain everything. But you know, the LU spoil that Palava, he be doing diplomacy.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are playing most to
you have spent more money.
I got to congratulate you.
Every open a national security expenditure, we're not scared. Let them listen to the public. How much was spent?
Eugene Nangbe is the chief of office staff to former President George Weah.
In the court.
It's our guest this morning. Eugene, you can wear small. You on the radio, sir.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, West Point.
Chief, no, you're not on West Point.
Sorry.
You on OKFM, sir.
Okay.
Eugene Nangbe is okay. Eugene Nangbe is the chief of staff to former President George Weah. He is here as our guest. Now, is there any difference between the case involving Brandon Samuka and the Tours case in the context of in the context of the court and others saying, well, yeah, he argued that former president said he may have authorized him to do something, but you can take all orders from your former boss if it is not a good order to take. Is there anything different?
Big one. First thing, Brandon Samuka was accused of using private money.
Okay.
The soldiers' pension or whatever name you want to call it. Tour is being accused of using government money for national security purpose. Two different things. You cannot take, if they men working with me, his pension I take it. President can authorize me to take private money, but the president can authorize you to take government money and use it for government purpose. That's a big difference there.
Okay.
So totally different. So all those who are drawing the analogy, they know the difference, but they, people just want to see 20 handcuff and God forbid, the same way they start lying, they got on sanction. I listened to the U.S. ambassador who said that sanction is a political tool. They use a political tool to damage people's lives. Koji. One day, Veda just jump on radio. Koji did this, Koji K. So now, you know the guy who stabbed herself 9 times to death? It ain't possible, right? Somebody can juke themselves 9 times until they die. The first juke in the heart. The lady for who business Gloria Oscar was convicted, she killed herself because...
I mean the Shala Musu.
Shala. But what we say now? They say she stabbed herself 9 times because the CDC government, the police professionally were out investigated for a culprit who was convicted. And the first thing President Baga did was to free the convict. So it mean the girl killed herself. She stabbed herself 9 times.
Her, you say that?
But who free Gloria Oscar?
The court.
Look
But the court, the matter went to the Supreme Court, Eugene.
And the Supreme Court free her. Okay, so you mean the guy. Okay.
When did you get to know Sam Gay?
I've been knowing him for a bit.
So
listen, no.
One minute.
You personally, right?
Personally, or as an official of the government in the EPS?
No, but when I knew him, I'm an official in the EPS. So I was asking you whether you asked me whether I know him personally.
Okay, let me go direct. Now,
I understand the question.
You were saying Sam Gay is incompetent. When Sam
unprofessional.
When Sam Gay walked,
childish.
When Sam Gay walked in the early. 1 minute, sir. Yeah, you can use all those words. When Sam Gay walked in the early regime,
to cause people
that you work in, was he competent then?
You say what?
When Sam Gay walked in the early regime, he was the head of the EPS too.
He has supervision, but what happened in the end? he has supervision when he was, before even going to EPS, he was supervised by FUMA. So he has supervision. But now he's unsupervised. So his unprofessionalism has come to the fore. What kind of EPS director will just see your car and say, oh, your car, he took it away? It's apparent. You have no capacity to know who owns a car and who doesn't own it. You know, I mean, the president is not protected well. Because if the EPS director has so politicized himself that he focuses more on the former president that he also supposed to protect according to law, that every day he withdrew. You know, he does a lot of things. Do you know that in Sam Gay's room, he got one guy came from there and told us, one guy came from a room and told us he got the picture of President Weah. He got a bullet point at, like a target. If you want to target somebody, you put the person picture, then you put a target that you now shoot the person.
You said one guy came from a room
and told us.
And you want all to believe that kind of thing, you did?
Hey, man.
You also tell her to take picture.
You know me, I can lie.
You're supposed to tell her to
when
take
he deny it first, then we bring the picture.
Yeah, we'll bring the picture.
We can tell
so he got.
I'm not generally like you.
He got
a politician.
He got president. We have
now
picture with gun pointed.
Then we'll show you.
You just want to say something to
put him in the camp. No, but that's on the side. I'm just telling you his mental state. He's infatuated in a negative way with President Weah.
Okay.
Because of that, it's showing how he acts.
Thank you.
He's on Facebook. What can the EPS do? And say, the former president walked away with car.
Can we hold you there? Did he write on Facebook or the EPS issue statement? I think I saw the EPS statement.
He put on Facebook first, then to fix it small, they made statement.
No, but EPS
and we
statement.
reacted to the statement. I sent Capital, yeah, publish it.
Who is in Capital?
Our reaction.
Where?
I'll send it to you right now.
No, let's get it. No, you didn't send or any copy. You just.
I'll send it to the media.
Let's get the record straight. Which media?
I'll send it to you personally.
But not even OKFM.
Oh, but if I send it to you right now, you that. You still get it.
We are on public radio.
News is always news.
So apologize to all now. You.
No, I send it to. I say you. I mean the media.
Okay.
I don't know you in the video.
Okay, we'll take it. Let's take calls. Mr. Nangbe, you're listening to the callers.
Yes, I want to say a few things because by some strange reason, you managed to cut the time off for me to, because I asked you to come on the show so I can speak about some of the national issues. Okay. You know, the other day I saw my friend Sarah Sigbe.
But not cut time off. The time going by.
No, but you're talking more than me. That was cutting the time
No,
off.
it's not true. You're not even giving me a chance to ask you questions. You're making flower all day. So I just looking at you.
So
let's hear you.
Yes. And maybe we'll have to extend the show. Because we have to
it can be today, sir. I got Senator Finley come here now.
I can tell him.
I made a promise to him, sir.
Yeah, but I can make new promise to him.
I want to take him at now, sir. Let's go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
Brother,
go ahead.
I can get out 30 minutes
go
to
ahead,
talk about
sir.
national issues.
Can you
Don't
please,
worry about that.
Can you please go ahead, sir? We got
one of the issues that I wanted to speak about here, and I send you some of my talking points, was about people claiming, you know, there's a theft of vision. The United Party is trying to steal President Weah's vision. Why do I say this? My friend Sarah Segbe, when he just took over recently, fair enough, you know, the president has a right to appoint. And then he went to cut the ribbon at a project. He wrote on Facebook that, one of our first things that our achievement is to cut the ribbon, to turn this place over to the University of Liberia for students.
You mean the Fisheries College?
Yes. Amen. He wants to tell me that. He couldn't even say, out of professional courtesy, that, okay, y'all kick Emma out. But this project, my predecessor did 1, 2, 3. It wouldn't take anything away from you. But what Cyrus did is 10% or less of the general malaise that has grappled the Unity Party. Look at the Southeast Road, Sikram, and I want you to check it out. The funding for Ganta to Sacré-Pied to Tapeta. In fact, the construction work of the road already started before President Baga took over. Before the elections, in fact. Then Tapeta to the Fishtown road. Secured projects already active. But because the Unity Party has no projects initiated by themselves, the stealing vision, the stealing President Weah, they're attempting to steal President Weah's vision. To say, oh, we're doing this, we are doing this one, we are doing that. Projects that you criticize, they criticize the RIA road. They criticize it when the project started, and it was President Weah who said, even since it started, we need to fix this road. In spite of COVID, and a lot of people fail to realize that COVID took 2.5 years away from President Weah. Yet we didn't complain. But in spite of COVID, he started these major transformational projects. The UP has a responsibility to say, oh, even though we condemn this project, yeah, what we did. Yeah, what President Weah started. In fact, the project has gone almost 60% before they came in. The Lofa Road, that they still find a way to start. The Southeast Road, I remember stopping Tapeta to speak to the workers. It was ongoing. So give credit, but they want to steal vision rogues.
They also argued that the Lofa Road and other projects are projects, some of the projects, President, we are also inherited and continue. And so they inherited some.
Oh, thank you for helping me. So the first thing he did, he helped President. Do you know that he broke grounds when he was senator?
I was in Banga.
He joined President Salif to break grounds. President Barker boycotted it. You know, that time he was packed wheelbarrow. So he said,
boycotted? Do you know whether you were ever invited there?
Yes, I know. I was in the government, I was minister.
I
can show you copy of invitation. He boycotted, he did not go. But, excuse me.
Go ahead.
A project to Lofa. You think President Salif wouldn't? She invited all the ministers, all the entire government, and the legislators. That's how President Weah went there. Luckily, he and former senator, former vice president Joe Howard were the only ones that there. So she said, help me to break ground. And Lofa Road started. And then he went to, when we went to UAE, why I say, oh, the president traveling, because every time he traveled, he brought tangibles. That's how we got the extension from Badia and the Arab lenders to extend the road. It's there, it's over. Just Google it, Badia, Arab lenders, Liberia. But you know, my issue with some of you journalists,
I mean, everything you say, 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, sir. Everything you say, former assistant minister Benedict Colbert said he's saying things.
Okay, but I didn't listen to him. Yeah. So you as the journalist now, you have to hold these people feet to the fire. Look at the hospital in Bapolu. Do you know that just because it was a project that President Weah begged his friend in Abu Dhabi for the underfunding the activities of it. But for me, I told somebody today, so you're not doing enough propaganda. The propaganda is not needed because the Liberian people are feeling the pinch.
What happened to the hospital in Babylon?
It's being totally underfunded with the hope that it will crash. But the people of Babalu can speak. That's why I said we don't need to do a lot of propaganda. Why would you do propaganda when the reality is...
When you say underfunded, what you mean? Government not doing anything there?
They're trying to make the place to break down. Yes. I'm making a categorical comment, you know, and, you know, I got to jump from place to place. You asked me about the former president's perspectives on the House saga. When all these things happen in the House, the Speaker wrote the police before the fire, during the fire, after the fire. When he went to the police headquarters, he said, these people were in the building. I wasn't there. And the place got burned. You know, people say, oh, how does burning the Capitol benefit the Speaker? How does it benefit him? But it benefits the other side because people will think they are. So have you called one of them? Have you called Koga or Colère to say, oh, you guys were also in the place when the thing happened? Have they interviewed them? No.
Do you want the police to call people because Eugene wants it that way?
No,
Is that how you want the police to operate?
No, I want the police to call people because they should be professional. When there is an incident, a crime committed, you investigate all of those associated, even remotely, and question them.
But the police said that's what it's doing.
But if you segregate them, so no member of the majority black got anything to
But if you have information that people in the majority
I'm
black,
telling you, the speaker,
you should have assisted the police.
Speaker Kofa assisted them. He double assisted them. He wrote letters to them, not just verbally assisting. He wrote them, and when he went there physically, he said, "Can you people ask this man what he was doing in the place 11 o'clock?" The place got burned. Few hours later, I think 3 hours later. But the last representative that was there, you ask him a question. Abu Kamara, who was in Babiata, Desi Bayoko, that the man they call.
So why do you think they did that? The police argued that it did that because of tip-off.
It's okay. I taking them off now. Can they call Koga? Say that tip-off can be there and grab people. Can they call Koga now? I'm taking them off now. Koga was in the building. Samuel Koga was the last representative in the building up to 11 a.m. The proof, and the one proof, the guy where you're getting no star call. They can check people's phone.
What do you say to people who believe? We'll be talking the Senator Philip Kynes. Okay. What do you say to people who believe that they
shake my hand because Senator Philip, you wait.
He 5 minutes away from here.
If you wait, don't worry about him.
No, I got to take my guess.
But if he comes,
yeah. So what do you say to people who
believe what's up? This conversation is important.
Eugene, this is radio. You are a communicator. Why are you not giving me a chance?
I'm trying to communicate.
This is unfair, Eugene. It's unfair. What do you say to people who believe that the CDC play a role in this whole impasse? Most of your lawmakers were at the front liners against your party's Kofa.
No, not most, some. And those who connived with the illegal action were punished by the CDC. But why don't you ask the United Party people whether they punish their members who took part in the illegality? Did they punish them? The other man said, "Oh, President, we should come and engage the press." You know who need to engage the press? President Bouakai. He need to come and engage the press and explain to them why the country is suffering, why he's imposing new taxes on the poor people, why the country is in a dire state, that ECOWAS have to come and say, fix it, thereabout. And yet, you still asking the former president. If you want him to help you run the country, then say it. But you can't be asking, the former president, They blend up politically, they call him. The president encourages ad hominem attacks on the former president. Even when Prophet Key and Yeke were cursing here, former president, we always said it's not the way to proceed. Keep the discourse civil. But when the other guy who wanted to call just move him, yes. So the cussing, this new man, he can stand behind all the people that have been cussing before. Prophet Kiyo, the Yeke, or who the president go and shake the hand, interact with. When he met Yeke the last time, he said cussing president is not the best way to proceed. He encourages all seditions not to resort to invectives.
Okay, Eugene, we gotta let you go. Thank you.
To keep the discourse, 2 seconds. To keep the discourse civil, and this is what he will continue to do. But the onus of running the country better rests upon President Bouakai.
Thank you, Eugene.
And let them concede that they started nothing new. All the projects we've paid for is what they are continuing.
Eugene Nangbe is Chief of Staff in the office of former President George Weah. He was our guest. Let's take a break.